talk about some reflection because 3 years ago I had hip surgery. And that surgery is what started this domino effect of getting me to where I am today. And it's been quite the journey, but I want to talk about it just because there's been so many hardships and opportunities for growth and crying, lots of crying, but none of that today, at least not on camera. You can't have roses without thorns, and it's easy to really jump into the thorns of the last 3 years and how they have really played a role in how my life has changed. So to really appreciate the roses, I think it's fitting to just rewind really quick, go 3 years back, and just start from the beginning. Do I look okay? So 3 years ago, I went in to get surgery on my hip, and they were just gonna reshape the bone socket. So basically, I had this impingement issue where the bones didn't line up properly, and so the whole hip was destroyed. And unless I wanted a hip replacement when I was 30, which I didn't, I needed to get the bones reshaped so that they would fit properly. So I went in thinking that my whole life was gonna change. I thought there's this 6-week window of like pretty tough recovery, but after that I'm gonna be running again, I'm gonna be playing soccer, just back to my normal life. And that was not the case. So while I initially thought the crutches was a 4 to 6 week period, it actually took 8 weeks before I could walk without either crutches or a cane. That's right. When I was 22, I was walking with a cane. I will show you the video. It was a pretty brutal recovery process. I mean, I had to use crutches or a cane for 2 months, so I couldn't walk all by myself, which means anytime I wanted to take a shower or go to the bathroom or do anything, my mom was there to help me. I couldn't sit past 90 degrees, which means if I'm sitting on the toilet peeing and my underwear fell to my ankles, I could not bend over to pick it up. Like, I'm telling you, I couldn't put my own socks on. It was a bonding experience with my mother. God bless her soul. It's a lot of recovery, and it was a very slow recovery. And I didn't know why I was recovering so slowly, but the issues just continued to linger to the point where after I graduated from physical therapy in September, I was back in the doctor's office by November, getting back on the anti-inflammatories. I had a lot of swelling in my leg and my joint. If I ever increased my activity, I would have bruises over the bone. It was very bizarre. So I went back to physical therapy the next year, and I went to physical therapy for 7 or 8 months before my physical therapist said, you know, hey girlie, if you're not getting better at this point, maybe you should go back to the doctor. So the surgeon actually sent me to a rheumatologist who ran a bunch of labs. We did some imaging, x-rays, another MRI that showed I had arthritis in my hip, but then also my labs were indicating lupus or rheumatoid arthritis. So that might have been what was causing me to heal so slowly, or not at all. So I went on prednisone for a while, and at the end of that prednisone run, I guess you could say, in December of 2021, I started having additional weird symptoms and pains in my body that led me to go through last year's chaotic endeavor of trying to get better, which has just continued to lead me through the rabbit hole that is now where I am today. So, I've had so many MRIs, CT scans, a HIDA scan, x-rays, a lot of labs. and an endoscopy. All of that to say is I'm now being treated for lupus and currently working with a hematologist. It was extensive. It was a lot. So today, thankfully, I am emotionally in a much better place. But those 2 years where I just kept waiting to get better were pretty excruciating because my whole life was just out of reach. It was just out of reach. And I wanted so badly to just be able to run again, to be able to play soccer without my legs swelling up or my hip having bruises all over it. It's been very bizarre. I started getting a lot of chronic hives, these sores and ulcers in my mouth. I get weird rashes on my skin, like they're called petechiae, but it looks like little blood vessel bruising like on the surface of my skin. I get like really red cheeks and like face across. And then of course the arthritis is not just in my hip, but I have the pleasure of welcoming it to other joints in my body. The fatigue that was plaguing me last year was insane. Like I would just feel like I was hit by a bus, and then I would just like have a fever and a pounding headache that wouldn't go away. Felt like I had the flu, but you know, in the era of COVID, all my COVID tests were negative. Would go to the doctor and yeah, like my labs would be all out of whack, but for no really known reason. So it's been very exhausting physically and emotionally, but fortunately today I am taking medication for lupus, which has honestly drastically improved the fatigue, if nothing else. I will say my joint pain has been a lot better as well. But I found yoga and I'm able to do yoga twice a week now because of the medication I'm taking, which beforehand I could only do yoga once a week, maybe once every other week, because if I did yoga twice a week, oh, I was down for the count, and that's when you know. So it's just been quite the journey, and I am not a runner right now, nor will I probably ever be, and those dreams of being a marathon runner and completing an Ironman are out the window. But the longer you hold on to the past and let that grief grip you from making progress in your current reality, it's just wasting time. Obviously give yourself time to grieve, which I have and honestly am still doing. That's part of the reason why I'm making this video. But you know, one of the exciting things with accepting the thorns in your life is the roses are a lot sweeter, and I've had the opportunity to branch out and try new things and put time and effort into hobbies I didn't even know I would enjoy, and it's been a ride to say the least. But with the pain that we feel comes beauty, and I am grateful for the beauty that I've had the opportunity to experience over the past 3 years.